And our next interview is with the wonderful Rebecca Prasad. She is with the Navy and Marine Corps Relief Society. Rebecca, hop a day, and thank you for joining.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Very nice. And you have a very definite mission, as your organization is, of course, affiliated with the military. You've got a mission of your own, is to provide wellness, should we say services, guidance, education. Let's break it down exactly, like the type of work that you do,
Sure.
and for whom.
Yeah, sure. So the visiting nurse program is actually part of our Navy Marine Corps Relief Society program that serves active duty military retirees and their families. And specifically the visiting nurse program, we offer free virtual and in-home visits to provide education, support, and resource referral.
Mhm.
So we really focus a lot heavily on maternal health.
Very nice. Now, of course, when it comes to expectant mothers, do you actually start meeting with them as soon as the baby is born, or do you even begin the education process and like maybe the preparatory process, if you will, prior to delivery?
Yeah, so ideally, we try to meet the moms when they're pregnant. We offer that support group where they can meet us. It's once a month, so they can come and already kind of engage with other moms, those who are pregnant and have delivered. And then we offer classes. So we prefer that they come out and get some education, but then we could follow them through their journey. But also we just make rounds once in a while, meet the moms after they've delivered or when they've reached out. They could do self-referral. Their medical provider can refer them,
Mhm.
and they reach out if they have like lactation concerns or other health questions.
There you go. Now, I was talking with some colleagues of yours from the local Guam Department of Public Health here, and they were saying, I guess a trend that we've seen with the local market, with the civilian population, is surprisingly to me, there's actually been a we've kind of pulled back from traditional breastfeeding over the years, and it's again shockingly to me. Is that something that you're also seeing with the with military service women and their dependents, that there's actually like less breastfeeding, and how do you incorporate that into your curriculum?
Yeah. So that's kind of, for me, it's, I would say half and half, because usually they reach out to me because they're very interested in breastfeeding.
Okay.
And I think what we really want to focus is on like the support. So the education and support. So many moms are eager to breastfeed, and then depending on what happens or the support or the education they get. So I feel like I don't have the numbers, but I feel like it's becoming more popular
Sure. Well,
to
no, and
breastfeed.
that's fantastic. And again, I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
like,
that they may be
is that a
cultural
bad word?
because no, perfectly, because with the civilian population, it may be like a cultural impact because you've got many forms of family here, and you've got people constantly coming over to the house, and neighbors and classmates that may be bringing gifts. It may be socioeconomic. You may not be in the
Mhm.
position to breastfeed, but like certainly our friends in the military, like I was just interested if there may be any differences, but that is very interesting.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times too, with the education we provide, we always kind of teach our clients, make sure it's evidence based. Your parents and your grandparents, they have great advice to give you, but sometimes it's just a little outdated.
Yeah.
So we always try to kind of say, respectfully let them know that, these are how we do things now.
Okay,
So it's
well,
kind of,
may we talk about that for a second, Rebecca? So, what are some of the, maybe either in terms of technology or of the, of the process or the technique? Like how has breastfeeding changed like over the years?
I mean, so now we just have more info. I mean, of course, now we have the lactation community has grown. There's IBCLC, there's trained providers. It's not taboo. I
Hmm.
think when you talk to Nicole, back in the day, La Leche League, it was kind of like just these moms supporting each other. So now we have more support out there for breastfeeding. Um, but our older generation sometimes they still kind of hold on to those, just some of the taboos of, why are you breastfeeding this long? Where Academy of Pediatrics might suggest you can breastfeed until a year, you can breastfeed as long as your baby wants to. it might be taboo for the older generation.
Very nice. Okay, and since we
Yeah.
know there is that genuine interest, what are some of the questions that tend to bubble up from people that make inquiries with you? Like, what are some of the most frequently asked questions?
So the most frequent concerns that I receive are moms who maybe think that they don't have enough milk, they're not producing what their baby needs. So there's also just questions about just sleep, like should my baby, how often should my baby be eating? So we can those questions can be answered like in classes prior so that parents kind of have an idea before they have their babies. But that's a very common question. I don't have enough milk. My baby's hungry. And, ideally your baby's at the breast, they don't see how much baby's getting. So we
Mhm.
teach them, is your baby gaining weight? Are they making enough wet and stool diapers? So
Right.
these are some things that we can go over so that they feel a little more confident in their care.
I've always wondered, if I may, Rebecca, like like an interest of mine was, is how important when it comes to mother breastfeeding baby is consistency in schedule that you're doing it on a fairly, the same time every day, like in night. Like how much does that factor? Or is it
So
just whenever baby's hungry?
yeah, pretty much what you just said. We
Simple as
usually
that.
teach them, yeah, exactly. When you first bring that baby home, it's we call it feeding on demand. Whenever you notice baby's hunger cues, whenever baby's hungry, yeah, it's a lot of work. I mean,
Mhm.
ideally, it doesn't come as naturally as like maybe the movie show. It takes some time to learn, but yeah, it's pretty much feed on demand. A lot of times they say every 2 to 3 hours, but we like to just say feed on demand. And then
Mhm.
as your baby's growing, you probably will get into a better routine.
Mhm. Interesting. Okay, and now, how many members does your organization have here on island? And if there is anybody listening right now, and they're like, I maybe have medical training. This is something I would like to possibly investigate more in. What's the size of your staff right now?
So right now, our staff is actually our offices are primarily volunteer based.
Okay.
So, but our staff is really three here in
Well,
here in Guam.
you are all three of you are proper Guamanians. If you share this island with us, I mean, you're part of our island family, and we take care of each other here. Like we
Yes,
we always kick in
yeah,
for our brothers and sisters. Yeah.
yeah. So we have our director, our financial RSA, and then we have the visiting nurse. Yeah, and then across the world, we're in Japan and the States and in Europe.
Mhm.
So we like to get the word out so when families PCS, they know that they'll have support in other locations as well.
Okay, and because you are the Navy and Marine Corps affiliated with
Mhm.
them, do you do the two Navy bases? So you do Naval Base Guam
Maybe.
and Camp Blas, or do you also provide services for the folks up at Anderson?
Yeah, occasionally we're at Anderson as well because we have a pretty big naval community up there as well.
That's
And
right.
then
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And then our support group, I mean, we don't really ask what branch of service. The support group is sort of open.
Okay.
So yeah, to military
Wow.
dependents.
So you guys actually put quite a lot of mileage on the old odometer there.
Yeah, we
Relatively
do.
speaking, I mean
Yeah,
it's Guam.
yeah. People don't realize though how far that stretches
Okay.
here
So,
on
and
Guam.
because you are volunteer based, if people like do have, the requisite training, or they've got like somewhat of a background and they would like to, get involved, and they believe in, helping others and everything, are you in need of more help?
Yeah, we always are looking for volunteers. In fact,
Oh,
we have a few volunteer fairs throughout the year.
mhm,
And then there's different areas they can volunteer. They don't specifically volunteer for the visiting nurse. It's more of like our thrift store, our financial side. But it's a good way to keep spouses and people, like if they can't find a job, they can keep their skills up. And
mhm,
it's great for your resume.
mhm. What is the most rewarding part of the job there? Because I mean, it sounds like a wonderful team, and obviously you guys are helping people. I mean, is there anything more pure than being able to see a mother connect with a baby in that very, precious, like special way? And you guys are actually adding a lot of value to that relationship.
Oh yeah, I absolutely love my job. I love that I can, I mean, I get to support my fellow military spouses and their families. I'm there when they are struggling. They do not have family close by. A lot of us can't, family can't always get to Guam. You know how it is, the distance and cost. And so it's just encouraging to be there as a source of support. And it's just a resource to them. And it's just a great place to be. And I also get to see these, a lot of times I get to see the kids grow because I've met them when they delivered and I was like, oh, look how big they are. If they continue on with the support group.
Well, it may
So
be a job, but it sounds like it's never work.
oh, it's wonderful.
Hmm. Okay, and then just to wrap up, what are some of the other things that your organization does, or maybe some of the services you provide?
So we are big. We have a big financial side where our active duty retirees and our families can come in to get support if they have any kind of financial emergencies. They can get quick assist loans. They're able to come in for we have a thrift store as well that you can donate to, and then they can shop, which is great because it is pretty pricey in Guam.
Hmm.
They can get uniforms and items like that. The financial side they help with, I mean, it's a wide range: car repairs, educational loans. There's a bunch of services that they offer.
Very, very nice. So providing for not just the new moms, but also the entire family unit. And like having a strong support system, like is a key, obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, and that leads to overall wellness and everything. So Rebecca, you are doing absolutely amazing work. And for your two other colleagues, and hopefully by doing this interview, we're going to expand that. We thank you as part of your island family, even from the civilian side and everything like it. And we wish you the very best. And we look forward to talking to you again very soon.
Thank you so much.
All right. Have a wonderful day.
You too.